Hello everyone. I hope all are doing great. Subscribe for more videos on like if you want more on Microsoft Dynamics FN. Okay, mostly like on technical part. And yeah, let's go ahead. Today you're going to learn about the interview question which is asking frequently these days. Okay, and this is a common question which most of the interviewer asked, so that's the reason I just wanted to share it with you so that it might be beneficial for you. Okay, so yeah, let's go ahead. So interviewer may ask, what is the purchase order process? Okay, so we have a sales order process, we have a purchase order process. This is a common question, like most of the interviews, like 80% they have asked. So let's go ahead and say. And right now, I cannot show you complete practical of that because it takes lots of time. So orally, I just wanted to tell you clearly. Okay, so basically, the purchase order process involves the creation, approval, and fulfillment of purchase order. Okay, so let me explain step by step. The first step is normally we create a purchase requisition, and this purchase requisition is optional. Like this process can begin with the creation of purchase requisition, and this purchase requisition is a request for goods and or services from the department or individual within the organization. So it acts as a main step before creating a formal purchase order. Okay, so after that the next step is a create a purchase order. So once the purchase requisition is approved, for example if we use the purchase requisition, okay, so if it is approved, a purchase order is created. So to do this, we have to use the procurement and sourcing module, and there we need to go for the all purchase order, and from that menu, and we can click on new to create a new purchase order. Okay, let me show you quickly this path. Okay, procurement and sourcing, and here also you'll find the purchase order. Okay, from here you can create a new purchase order. So once after that, we need to select the vendor. So in the purchase order header, so we need to select the header from whom we you want to purchase the goods or services. You can either manually enter the vendor details, or you can use the we have one vendor lookup. Okay, see here which is already created, these all records. So whenever if you just click on new purchase order, you will be asking, you'll be asking to fill some details. See here vendor account, so it is going to ask the for which vendor that you are going to create the purchase order. The same way you need to add some items. So after adding the items, we need to verify some confirm details, and after that we have a submit for approval. Okay, this is the next step is something submit for approval. So here in the submit for approval, basically we submit that particular purchase order which we are creating. This will be going to the approval. So approval involves multiple levels of authorization depending on the purchase amount or the other criteria set by your organization. So after that, it will be a approval and confirmation. So once it is approved, you will receive the confirmation and status will be changed to approved to confirmed. So once after this process is done, we are going to send purchase order to the vendor. Okay, so this you can send the purchase order to the vendor via email or any electronic data interchange. Okay, we call it as EDI. And after that they'll receive the goods or services. Once after receiving the goods and services, we are going to have the next step is invoice processing. So after the receipt of goods or services, the vendor will send an invoice, and you can match the vendor invoice with the purchase order and goods receipt to validate the accuracy. And later, the payment processing phase. Once the invoice is verified, the payment process can be initiated. This may involve generating a payment proposal, review, and approval before finally executing the payment to the vendor. So the last is like post purchase order transaction. Like all purchase order related transaction, including receiving, invoicing, and payments, must be posted to update the financial records and inventory levels. Okay, so the important point which I want to tell you is you have to note that purchase order process in F&O can be customized to fit the specific needs and requirements of your organization. The steps and process flow can be vary based on your organization policies, approval flows, and system configuration. So, yeah, this took lots of time to explain, right? So, what you can just do it is you can easily say the outline of the requirement, like if they ask what's the purchase order process, so you can say we can just create the purchase requisition first, and later we need to create a purchase order. Once after purchase order creation is done, we are going to select the vendor, and once after once after selection of the vendors, we are going to add some items, and after that it goes into the verify and confirmation details. Once it is verified, we are going to submit this for an approval. So once this approval phase is done, the confirmation, we have to receive the confirmation like approved to confirm the status. So once after it is confirmed, we are going to send a purchase order to vendor. So once after sending this purchase order to vendor, we are going to receive the goods or services. I mean, vendor is going to receive the goods or services. So once after this is done, so there is a phase called invoice processing. So they'll and here in this case, you have to just check either everything is correct. You, in the sense, like vendor, have to check everything is done or not. I mean, matched or not with the invoice. So once after invoice processing is done, payment processing. So vendor have to pay the bills and all, right? So here the payment processing, and the last step is post purchase order transaction. So in the post-purchase order transaction, all purchase order related transaction, including receiving, invoicing, and payments, must be posted because everything is done, right? So that's the reason it have to post it, and need to update the financial records and everything because like vendor have received it and payment is also done, everything is done, right? We need to update everywhere in the system for this particular vendor. So this is the process. You can just say the outline also, okay? Because before, if I say the outline, you might not understand like what is the use of creating the purchase order and all, right? Yeah, that's it for this session, guys. There are many more videos to come on this particular session. I mean, on this, there are many interview questions on purchase order and sales order. So stay tuned and subscribe for more videos. Thank you.